Welcome to our winter show. It is called the mitten. We hope you enjoy it. My Baba, she made me some mittens to wear. She made them as white as the snow. I went for a walk and I lost my roots. Oh, where did it go? My mitten, my fuzzy mitten. My mitten keeps my hands warm. My mitten, my fuzzy mitten. My mitten makes a good home. My mitten's a home for a big gray wolf. My mitten's a home for a bear. My mitten's a home for a itty mouse. How many will fit inside there? My mitten, my fuzzy mitten. My mitten keeps my hands warm. My mitten, my fuzzy mitten. My mitten makes a good home.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Nicky that lived with his grandmother and grandfather in the woods. Nicky's grandmother, whom he called Baba, used to knit him sweaters, grandfather, and socks and other clothing. One day, Nicky asked Baba to make him some brand new mittens that were white like the snow. So he said,
Mama, mittens, make some mittens, make some Coca-Cola now and inside. Mama, mittens, make some mittens, make some new white. Mama, mittens, make some mittens, make Coca-Cola now and play outside. Mama, mittens, make some mittens, make some mittens, and new white.
Of course, Baba was happy to make Nicky a pair of mittens, but she did not think that white was a good choice for a color. She was afraid that Nicky would lose them in the snow and wouldn't be able to find them again. So Baba and grandfather said,
No, Nicky, Nicky, no. You should pick purple, pink, or yellow. No, Nicky, Nicky, no. White doesn't show in the snow. No. No, Nicky, Nicky, no. You should pick purple, pink, or yellow. No, Nicky, no. What doesn't show in the snow? No.
but in the end, of course, Nicky got his way. Baba did make him a new pair of mittens that were pure white. So Baba gave him the mittens, and Nicky ran out to play in the snow.
legs out quick and put they stick, then we'll head out to the snow. Slip sliding with your left foot, then your right. Slip sliding, spin around on hills of white. Slip sliding with your boots or in your shoes. Slip sliding, it's the winter thing to do. Slip sliding, swirling in the sky. The autumn gets on, it means alright. First we got to catch them with our nose now, don't you know? Put your nose out quick, but they stick and we'll get out to the snow. Slip sliding, sliding with your left foot and your right. Slip sliding, spin around on hills of white. Slip sliding, sliding with your boots on and your shoes. Slip sliding, sliding, it's the winter thing to do. Something's all around, swirling in the sky. The ocean gets on, taking all around. We got to catch them with our lips now, don't you know? Put your lips out quick and hook their stick and we'll get out to the snow. Slip sliding, sliding with your left foot and your right. Slip sliding, sliding, spin around on hills of white. Slip sliding, sliding with your boots on and your shoes. Slip sliding, sliding, it's a winter thing to do. Something's all around, swirling in the sky. The autumn gets on, taking all around. We got to catch them with our tongue now, don't you know? Put your tongue out quick, put this stick, and we'll get out to the show. Slip sliding, sliding with your left foot and your right. Slip sliding, sliding, spin around on hills of white. Slip sliding, sliding with your boots on and your shoes. Slip sliding, sliding, it's a winter thing to do. It's a winter thing to do. It's a winter thing to do.
Sure enough, just as Baba had said, Nicky soon dropped one of his mittens. Nicky walked away from it and never even noticed that it was missing. He was just too excited about the beautiful sparkling snow, and the snowflakes were falling all around. Now it was very cold outside. By and by, along came 2 rabbits and a raccoon. They were very cold, and when they saw that mitten, they thought that it would make a nice warm home. So they crawled into the mitten together to stay warm. Soon along came an owl, a fox, and a lion. They saw that warm white mitten, and they decided that it would make a nice warm home. So they asked the rabbits and raccoon to let them in.
Well, it's pretty cold and the snow and ice in that warm mittens looking pretty nice. Move over, move over, move over and let me in. Well, you'll have to share or you'll have to go. Better let me in or I'll bite you so. Move over, move over. Move over and let me in. Mittens.
But the rabbits and the raccoon did not think there was room for any animals in the mitten, so they said,
No room, no room, no room. You can't come in 'cause there's just no room. No room, no room, no room. You can't come in 'cause there's just no room.
well, the rabbits and the raccoon did not want to share the mitten, but when they saw those big teeth, they moved over. So the owl, the lion, and the fox climbed inside, and the mitten was stretched out just about as far as it could go. Soon along came 2 deer and 2 chipmunks.
Well, it's pretty cold out in the snow and ice, and that warm mitten's looking pretty nice. Move over, move over, move over and let me in. Well, you'll have to share it or you'll have to go. Better let me in or I will bite you so. Move over, move over, move over and let me in. Mittens.
The mitten was really crowded by now, and the animals knew it couldn't possibly hold much more, so they said,
No room, no room, no room. You can't come in, there's just no room. No room, no room, no room. You can't come in, there's just no room.
well, the rabbits, the raccoon, the fox, the lion, and the owl didn't think there would be room for the deer and the chipmunks, but when they saw their teeth, they knew they had to make room somehow. So the deer and the chipmunks went inside the mitten. The mitten was pulled and stretched too many times its size. Steam rose from the mitten as the animals huddled together inside. But still, Baba's good knitting held fast. Soon along came a bear that was out for a walk in the woods. He was very cold, and when he saw that warm mitten, he wanted in too.
Well, it's pretty colder in the snow and ice, and that warm mitten's looking pretty nice. Move over, move over, move over and let me in. Well, you'll have to share, or you'll have to go.
The mitten was really crowded by now, and the animals knew it couldn't possibly hold much more, so they said,
"No room, no room, no room. You can't have it in the church. Yes, no room. No room, no room, no room. You can't have it in the church. Yes, no room."
well, the rabbits, the raccoon, the fox, the lion, the owl, the deer, and the chipmunks didn't think there'd be room for the bear, but when they saw his teeth, they knew they had to make room somehow. So the bear went inside the mitten. The mitten was pulled and stretched too many times its size. Steam rose from the mitten. But still Baba's good knitting held fast. By and by, along came a mouse. She was just a very small mouse, and she was very cold. When she saw that warm mitten, she wanted to get inside too. So she said,
"Well, pretty cold and snow and ice, that warm mitten looking pretty nice. Move over, move over, move over and let me in. You have to share it all, you have to go. Better let me in before I'll bite you down. Move over, move over, move over and let me in."
so the animals did not want to let anyone else in, so they said, that poor little mouse just shivered and stared at them sadly. The animals looked at that tiny little mouse and just rolled their eyes. The bear looked at the chipmunks. The chipmunks looked at the deer. The deer looked at the owl. The owl looked at the fox. The fox looked at the lion. The lion looked at the raccoon. Raccoon looked at the rabbits. And they all let out a heavy sigh. And they moved over just enough to let the mouse squeeze in. And then something happened.
So into the winter now, that's its knees. When the bear ran out of drum and you sneeze. And the music first went up, pop, pop, pop. And away those animals hop, hop, hop.
And so that was the end of Mickey's mitten. When he went home that night, he had to tell Baba that he had lost it, just like he said she would. And of course, he never did find it again.
Forgetful like Mickey was, you had to play in the snow. Don't listen to Grandma, all you she says, some colors are better, you know. So listen, you really have to listen. Listening's a good thing to do. So listen, you really have to listen. Your grandma's smarter than you. If you find a mitten out in the woods, we all know it's better to share. But think really hard and you're gonna figure out it's not a good place for out there. So listen, you really have to listen. Listening's a good thing to do. So listen, you really have to listen. Your grandma's smarter than you.
Boys and girls, please stand.
One, 2, 3.
Stay standing, boys and girls. For our encore song, please join us in singing Dashing Through the Snow.